Well, we're now joined by journalism advocacy group Reporters Without Borders is investigating the arrest of at least 6 journalists in Ethiopia amid the ongoing conflict in Tigray. The organization said that many journalists have been prevented from covering the Ethiopian conflict. Andualem Sisay is a journalist based in the capital Addis Ababa, and he joins us now on the line. Andualem, can you just give us an indication of what the situation is at the moment before we speak to some of the issues that your group has highlighted?
All right, thank you very much for inviting me. As you described, the situation now is a developing situation. Currently, there is a fight going on between the federal government and TPLF, which is the former rebel group, which has been on power from 1991 up to 2018 April, until Prime Minister Abiy came to power. So they have been fighting since November 4, as you said. The attack was launched as confirmed by the TPLF also on another video that we see 2 days ago. They confirmed that they have started the attack to prevent themselves from being invaded by the federal army. That's what they said. So the current situation is that they, as you said, they launched a missile attack in airports near around Bahar Dar, which is in Amhara region, and in Gondar town also. So the fight is going on. The latest development is the army is now circling them. They are very close to 3 hours away from the Mekele, which is the capital of Tigray region, where the TPLF leaders are expected to have the last battle. Mm-hmm. So things are now getting to conclusion. In my view, it won't take more than a week, probably, or 2 weeks for the federal government to fully clean the area from the extremist leaders.
Why do you say that, considering that TPLF has been quite consistent in also striking back and also being resistant?
Yes, the reason I say this is that when you compare the capacity and whatever you call it, military, army and discipline and all those things, they have been, the army has been pushing in different directions. First, it closed the border that they expect to smuggle in weapons, the Sudan border. So the Sudanese and the Ethiopian officials have blocked that border, and they have been receiving refugees. And there is no arms coming. In fact, around 90,000 or something missiles, which they are expecting to launch from Tigray to another, which they were planning to smuggle from Sudan, was captured by Sudan security around the border. So that border is closed. Now the Djibouti border is also closed, which is also another border which they may go through Afar region. So now they are being circled, and over the past days, every day 1 or 2 cities of the Tigray region have been captured by the federal army. So they don't have that capacity, even though today they launched that missile attack, which I think will soon be controlled by the airstrike, and I don't expect that there will be such missile attacks. Probably they have managed to hide some of them, because the army have already targeted most of the artilleries which they overtake when they attack the military base in the north. So that's why I say that things are now concluding.
Is it clear as yet what sort of capacity TPLF has at the moment, and who are the people who were going to be supplying those arms that have been now confiscated by the Sudanese security?
It's not clear, but as you know, they have been on power up to from 1991 to 2018. So they have been in the rebel arms struggle, and they came to power with armed struggle in 1991. So they know all the regions. In fact, the leader came from Sudan. The late Meles Zenawi flew directly in 1991 from Khartoum to Addis Ababa. So they have very well connected in Sudan, in Somaliland, and even in Djibouti. So they have banks. They have money in different banks, which is one of the causes of the federal government. They robbed the country very much, and they took a lot of money from the country outside. So they have very well connected, and they managed to smuggle this kind of weapons. And in fact, one of the charges they faced was that they have been doing this contraband illegal trade, including ships of Ethiopian shipping lines and those kind of heavy corruption scandals. So they have well connected, and they can manage. And in fact, one of the brother of the TPLF leader, Dawit Gebreegzaaber, is a wealthy man in Dubai, and he's been engaged in supplying military aircraft into different African countries. So they are very much connected, and they have been in power, and they know how to do things. That's why they can easily access anything they want from anywhere.
Yeah. And with this, the escalation of this of the attack as well, and now that you've said that the military are also moving in on TPLF, on the other end you have the citizens. Is it clear as yet how many have fled to Sudan? The last figure that we got was that around 70,000 have fled, and the number was expected to increase to around 200,000.
At this stage, it's not expected to increase because the border area, which is already liberated from the stronghold of the TPLF army, is now being overtaken by the interim administration established by the Parliament of Ethiopia. So that area is becoming to be open for aid workers and for the interim administration. So the more they are pushing in now is to the Eritrean, and they are being sandwiched from the Eritrean side. The border is also closed from the Djibouti side. Afar region is also part of the Ethiopian region. So in that case, we don't expect much going to Sudan. More than this, probably it may increase in a small number. Because I'm saying this because the army is pushing into the center, and people probably will not go more than that circle of that circle area.
Yep. Okay, so the Prime Minister issuing a statement also and speaking about that the government and its military operations are aimed at restoring the rule of law but on the other end we have journalists who are being subjected to arrest.
Yes, I also heard that one, and the Human Rights Commission commissioner has also tweeted 4 names of journalists, indicating that he was alarmed by the arrest of these journalists. But I'm not aware of the details why they have been arrested. Probably it could be related to this conflict, and they may be engaged in, I don't know. There could be allegations that the government may come up with, but as you said, the government is more strong in these days because of this. They don't want us to more push into this conflict to become into kind of a civil war, which the international media continuously has been reporting, claiming that this is a civil war. So the government wants the issue to be handled as an operation which it has taken against the Somali region, and which in the same circumstance captured the leader and bring it to justice. And in Oromia region, they have also done the same military operation and captured some of the extreme Oromo leaders who are been fighting. So but when you mix things like foreign, like international media is reporting, I think the officials may get upset, in my view. That's what I think, and not clear about the details, actually.
So your suspicion is more around how this particular attack is being reported, or how this battle between the TPLF as well as the state is being reported, in that the state is arguing that it's not a civil war, it is just a military operation.
Yes, that's what the government has been saying. In fact, the government has been trying, and sometimes it lacks context when the foreign media, including those based here, are reporting. They don't show you the background story, and they don't bring you the full picture, what the government has been doing, how it reached from where to this stage, and the process it has been going through since Prime Minister Abiy came to power. Why they upset while some of the TPLF leaders decided, the progressive ones decided to join the new party of Abiy, and those things, details will be lost. And it only shows to characterize the Nobel Peace Prize has launched attack against the TPLF kind of narration. So those are more one-sided, and when they repeat, some of us unknowingly repeat this kind of narration, it is very much misleading. In fact, I wrote a very in-depth analysis looking into how the Guardian covered, how the BBC covered, with only one side, and it's not in a manner that reduces harm. As a journalist, we are supposed to reduce harm, to minimize harm, or there is an element called humanity in reporting such conflicts. Otherwise, we could be playing a negative role in escalating the situation. So in that case, the issue that it's my opinion, actually, and I'm not aware about the details of this cases.
So just in conclusion then, from the analysis that you just spoke about and the opinion piece that you've written, what is it that you have discovered in what you have now described as a one-sided story or one-sided narrative?
Yes, thank you for asking this. Most of the journalists, including me, are these days very much lazy, and we sit on the computer and follow the tweets and those tweet feeds and put together and try to do stories. Most of these tweets are also coming from extreme Oromo activists based Canada, United States, Europe, those kind of people, or the TPLF families and business partners, and including the politicians who are also supporting these individuals when they were on power. So following only these tweets and without asking, while sitting in Addis Ababa as a correspondent journalist, you took that tweet feeds, and you have to at least call somebody from Ethiopian government and ask to get the other side of the story. But most of them, if you look at the Guardian report, the BBC report, the Reuters report, they just pull out those tweets and do stories. I put an example, in fact. So those kind of stories are now, considering the Abiy administration as if the most dictator one, kind of narration. They are building this kind of narration. Deliberately, they are doing it, some of them. But they are lazy. You can go out if you are in Addis and talk to people on the street and at least get some opinions. What do you think?
Okay.
Different people.
So Andualem, would you say that it hasn't been difficult for you at all to cover this particular story, or you haven't been prevented from covering this story by the state?
For me, there is no problem so far. I tried to get I flip into the channel of the TPLF because I also listen to those Amharic language. They have Amharic broadcast and English also they have started. So you have the government report here, and I have also been here, and I know why, when the issue started, and why some of them decided not to join the Abiy administration, and why. So I try to put things into context and try to balance.
Okay.
So that's how been trying to do. I haven't been able to travel because there is no way we can travel. The government said it's very risky, and they don't allow anybody to go there. There is no communication coming on the ground from that side. But we still flip into different channels, including the government and the TPLF channels, to get what they say and to put together what we see.